again, the Elite Show. The Mob, the Mafia, and the Man. We got a great show today. Everybody hit the subscribe button, hit the comments, ask questions. We have a legendary fighter, wrestler here today that you're going to be amazed with the story to people that don't know him, and everybody seems to know him. Dan Severn, it's great to have you on.
Gentlemen, great to be here as well.
I have one question for you before we go any further. Did you do it?
Yes, I did.
Hashtag?
Hashtag, yes, I did.
All right. Dan, nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm Mike Dowd. In case you don't know, I'm not as popular as the both of you guys. But
social media, I tell you what, it's a new world that we live in now. Everyone's got to have that they've got that cell phone, and they've got that social media presence kind of going, I don't even know. I feel like a dinosaur when I'm walking in most of the time.
Well, Johnny and I know we hit the buttons wrong. I end up sending naked pictures of myself to the wrong person. I don't know what the...
Sure you do. Sure
you understand. You understand. Talking about naked pictures, you had some experiences in that area.
Well, that's a different episode.
That's different.
That's the uncensored. That's uncensored.
I thought all things were good on here. I thought all things were good in here. Now we got parameters. Johnny, come on. Help me out here.
Dan, let me ask you. Okay, we're going to get on a serious note. You know, we do a lot of work with kids.
Yes.
We do a lot with kids that have been in trouble, like ourselves. We've been in trouble before. Fortunately for you, you've always been in the right direction. Sports helped you keep in the right direction. So when you first started out, how did you get into the world of athletics?
Yeah, I'll say that temptation has always been around me. Don't get me wrong. Temptation has always been around. Especially being involved in a couple weird industries like the professional wrestling world it's probably the strangest world I've ever been involved in. And
is that how you know that guy Matt from?
There you go.
Colorful guy named Matt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
He fits. He blends right on in.
He's part of that.
You give that man a microphone and let him give a crowd. Yes, he's an addict at that point in time.
Boy, what a special guy! What a special individual.
No, yes. but being involved in the wacky world of professional wrestling, there's a big chemical usage there alone because you can't look normal. People are coming there because they want to see these mastodons. They want to see these people that are ripped. I mean, you had Hulk Hogan who trouted, his 21-inch pythons and things of that nature.
Right.
Just so you just had people that they got involved in the chemicals for just to get the big muscular look, but then you start looking at the punishment that they're taking. Each time to be picked up and to be bodily slammed, to be hit with these chairs. And I know when I was working for the WWF at the time, the average worker or employed athlete was working 187 dates. Now, when you think about travel to or travel back from, 187 dates easy is 200 plus dates of being on the road.
Yeah.
Tough on the family life, but then how often are you getting to the gym?
Yeah.
And there'd be times that I would actually be on the road right there, and I'm getting into the locker room early, and I'm sitting there just relaxing because they tell you to get there so early. I kept wondering, why do I have to get here so early? But then as the different guys that are coming into the locker room, they're like going, okay, do you need any gear? I never heard this term gear before. They pull out the gear. It's like the gear is like, what do you need? Do you need some of this testosterone? This? Do you need some of this? Some there to there. I mean, literally, they pull out. They had phenomenal pharmacies, and actually sort of swapping back and forth and things of their nature. And they're like, Dan, you need something? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
How about a nice Coca-Cola or soda?
No. How about a breakfast? You're sitting there.
A bottle of water.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. He brings up, John, the travel. We have it. We don't stop. We don't stop. Anybody that knows us, we were in California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia. It's just...
we tour all over.
And it's a lot. It's really, really a lot.
Well, especially with I imagine with you guys being in movies and the things that you're doing in there with the kids and youth, it's always travel.
Yeah.
I mean, I live out of a planner.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm not sharp enough to do it off of my cell phone. I'm still old school. I still put it into a planner, and that's what I always refer to it. It's my portable brain. Yeah. When people ask me a question, I go, "What's the moment? I need to consult with my portable brain."
Well, if you can help us find the guy that invented computers, I'm still thinking about hurting him.
Because
Trust
he
me.
made us stupid.
Yeah.
He made us stupid. The
Yes.
computer guy. You know?
Yeah, there's sometimes I don't even know where to hit the on/off button.
Yeah, I
to
know,
it.
it's terrible.
So you were a championship wrestler, at college level.
Well,
Now, what was your high school wrestling? Where'd you?
I did amateur wrestling through the high schools, junior high
So
schools.
what high school?
Montrose Hill McCoy High
You
School.
you had over
A little
100
Class
something
C.
fights though. You had an enormous amount of fights.
That's in the cage fight world. Yes.
yeah.
But when you even look at as an amateur
Average
wrestler,
guy,
John,
average guy doesn't have one fight. You know that. One or two. I mean, average streak. You know, they all talk that nonsense.
Yeah.
But you were in a cage with 100. I want people to really understand that what that is.
127 cage fights.
the bragging rights. One of the bragging rights I have there is the fact that there's only 4 people in the world that have over 100 cage fights, and I'm in that category. There's only 3 in the world that have over 100 victories. I'm one of those 3. Now, the real ironic part is I faced the other 3. I defeated the other 3. Closest one to my age was 12 years my junior.
Wow.
Closest one.
Wow.
To me. So it's
Wow,
kind of
that's pretty significant.
It
That's
says
significant.
It says a lot about me. And
But it's funny. So on the way here, John and I were going over your record. I want to know who beat this guy. Yeah, he wanted to know who beat you because you won so many, and you had 3 championships at one time.
Well,
right?
Well, yeah, I'm the only Triple Crown champion. Well, all that really means is that as the UFC was kind of going through its growing pains,
Right.
I won one of their normal 8-man tournaments.
Okay.
I won one of their super tournaments where they brought in 8 of the top fighters at that time, and it was actually like the Super Bowl of events at the time.
Well, you're a Hall of Famer for the
Yeah.
people that don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it was called the Ultimate because
Yeah.
they was one that's trying to make it really significant. And then I ended up winning one of their super title matches. So now the UFC right now is it's all set up as single bouts.
Right. But you actually entered into like a round robin event. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like 8 guys went in and 8 guys fought 8
Yeah.
different people essentially.
Like in the beginning.
That's a lot of fighting.
In the
For
beginning,
1 week,
yeah,
right?
when they would bring you in, one night,
One night. Oh,
two,
jeez.
two hours. So in the
So
beginning,
how many? Wait. So you understand something? I'm a retard when it comes to this stuff. Excuse my language.
no, you're
You
good.
had 8 fights in
No,
how long?
no.
How'd that work?
three fights.
Right. So it was eliminations.
8-man tournament. So on a basically you would arrive on a Friday night.
Okay.
They would have
Break
the,
it down.
the
Break it down.
press conference.
These people got to understand who you really are and what he really went
Okay.
through.
So at the press conference, you
big.
Actually at the press conference you finally meet for the first time ever who the 7 other men are. Now think about that in today's terms.
Right. You can't prepare for this.
And you find out, as they say, they'll have Mike, Mike standing up here, and they talk about your height, your weight,
Right.
what your martial arts background
Right.
is, stuff like that. And then you sit back down. Then John, you stand back up, and they go through all your height, your weight, and your martial arts or boxing, whatever your
specialties
accolades
right.
were. They talk about that. Then they pulled out a bingo ball machine.
Jeez.
8 balls and 8 names on it. And you spin it. Name number comes. Mike comes up there first. Spin again, and then boom. There's John's name. You find out less than 24 hours before you climb in the cage who your first match is.
Yeah, you can't prepare.
You're never going to know the second and
Exactly.
third.
And at that time, you don't have Google. You don't have Siri.
right.
I can't look nothing
Don't
up.
say Siri, my phone was
Oh
talking.
yeah. Okay, so you have no way of knowing. So it's kind of like going, you're flying by the seat of your pants on this right
right.
there. And as you walk out there for your first match, you're trying to have some of your corner guys watching some of the previous matches to see what is this guy doing. Is he more of a striker? Is he more of a kicker?
Right,
Is he more of a
right,
grappler?
right.
So that you can. You need to weather the first storm. You need to make short work out of it, because
you want to be exhausted.
exactly. As I always tell people, I go, you're not being paid by the hour out there. It's called piecework. Get it done. Get out of there. Yeah, it's
So
piecework.
that's quite a way to enter a tournament, not really knowing what's going to happen.
How did you stay motivated this long in your career? I mean, you really stayed motivated to be the top dog for so many years. I mean, that takes something
First of all,
unique.
John, look at his. I'm looking at his face now. He's glad. I don't see. He doesn't. He doesn't look.
You got a little bit of a Paul Newman look. You must hear that, right?
I've heard
Oh,
that.
yeah,
He doesn't
100%.
I just wish I could get into movies.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can find him something. But someo's got to know something. Look at this guy.
What I
He's
always
still
tell people
handsome.
is,
nope, he's not all banged up. John.
but
He's been in hundreds of fights.
but you don't see cauliflower
Right,
ears.
that's-
No,
Most
you don't
most
see it,
boxers
right, I
alone,
know that,
they got the big
yeah.
old-
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
But all during my practices, I always wore headgear. Now they look rinky dink because I wore headgear. But even when it comes to boxing, you can wear headgear.
Right.
And where you're not going to get cut, you're not going to get your nose broke, stuff like that.
Right.
But each time that you get hit hard, it rattles
Yeah.
the brain around.
Right.
And you can only have that brain rattle so many times before it turns it into jello or pudding.
I
as
was in
refer to it.
Brazil and I'm in the ring, and Artur Mariano is a 3-time Muay Thai champ, very famous Muay Thai fighter. Great guy, nice guy. And he's got everybody in the ring training without headgear. And I said to him, it's a mistake. You need these young guys with headgear on. They're getting hit too often, too much over a career. They should wear it. Anyway, when I get jammed up, I'm in prison. A guy comes to see me, and he says, they should have heeded your advice. I said, why? He says, you know the young kid, he tells me, he says, he got killed the other day in the gym. He got hit with a couple of shots, laid him out, and never woke up. And this is what goes on long term.
Yes.
When you, especially if you're long term, you're taking those blows to the head like that, and sometimes outclassed with guys you shouldn't be in the ring with.
Yep.
And that's what happens. You need to have that. And when you get in the ring for fight time, obviously when you're not training, okay, there's no headgear. We know that. But before that, you're not proving anything by not wearing headgear. You should have it on.
Well, I say even today that most boxers and most mixed martial artists, their training camps are wrong because they're taking way too much damage.
Yeah.
That their career is going to be short-lived to begin with. But then later in life, they have to live in this condemned building known as their body because their brain has been sloshed around so much time it might bring on early Alzheimer's. And
What people don't realize, John and Dan, is that you have 120 fights, but you've practiced 50 times between each fight or something like that.
Well, you're supposed to anyway.
Well, you're supposed. Well, you're in the ring, right?
Again, I say that kind of ironically because
So
I think,
there's more hits.
Yeah.
There's a lot more hits than people know.
You take in practice. You take way more punishment in practice than what you should ever take in a match.
Right. Okay. So my point is, if we're watching this guy fight 127 times, he's at least 3 times that in the hits in some manner or another. That's a lot of beating.
But you were a hell of a wrestler. You submitted, I think, about half of your victories, if I remember correctly, right?
More than, I use my grappling abilities a great deal because the theory was simply this: you have to be within arm's reach to punch,
Right.
legs range to kick, knee, elbow.
Right.
I was good about just slightly saying out of range. As they throw stuff, as they pull it back, I watched how
came in.
people train.
Yeah.
Then I closed the distance.
Yeah.
Whether I clinched them. When you look at all the pugilistic events that take place, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, kung fu, that referee spends more time separating the two athletes because, again, boxing, because we were talking about boxing
Right,
before,
right.
they don't want to see people hugging, squeezy in boxing.
Right.
No, fellas, spread back.
Spread out,
No,
yeah.
legs, spread back. We need to see punches
Right.
to the head, to the body.
Right.
And so I always tell people that I was simply good at my craft.
Right.
You get one chance to hit me, and then I'm going to clinch it. And
Right.
the moment that I clinch you, I've just nullified
You changed the
90+% of your arsenal.
Right.
But jiu-jitsu, you were you were a black belt.
No, not really. I mean, not in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I have
Judo
I do
skills?
have some background in submission grappling. That I did take a sambo class. I did take a judo class.
Right.
But to me, it's like going, when you look at how little I did, I should have never got the results. But the one thing they don't understand is that, as a freshman in high school, I jumped from folk style wrestling, I jumped into freestyle wrestling. Then I jumped into Greco-Roman wrestling. So already I'm diversified. By my freshman year in college, I jumped into a judo class. I jump into like a weightlifting class because I want to design a weightlifting program specifically for sport wrestling. I jump into a nutrition class, so I want to know that everything I put in my body is going to make me the ultimate wrestler. So literally all these things I did, they panned out to me towards like I was an incredible wrestler. So it's a lot of that same mentality when this opportunity comes now for.
And you were a farm boy
cage
too,
fighting.
right?
Well, again, on top of that.
And that helped also with your conditioning.
Well, I'd say discipline.
Right.
And because in the morning you got to get your ass out of bed.
I know that.
And you got to get them chores done.
You're a
because
5 in the
you gotta
morning
do it.
guy, yeah.
You got to get up, get all your chores done before you got taken care of, and then you still got to get on the bus and get to school.
What was the name of the? I'm big on names. What was the name of the high school?
Montrose Hill McCloy. And
Montrose Hill McCloy.
Yeah.
And what town?
At the time, Montrose, Michigan. But it was known as Hill McCloy High School, located in Montrose, Michigan. It was just at the time I was there. It was a small Class C school, which means less than 400. I think 500 for total classes of 9 to 12.
So my graduating class was 800, and there was 2 schools.
Oh, 800. Oh.
And there was 2 schools.
Yeah.
So it was Brentwood and Ross, and Brentwood.
A lot of Albanians. I'm Albanians. A lot of Albanians in Michigan.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of fans of yours out there.
Are you in the countryside in Michigan? Where in Michigan is this? I don't know.
Well, again,
Detroit is here. Everyone knows where Detroit is.
Well, again, it's probably about 45 minutes outside of Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Flint. Well, the water.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
the good water
Yeah,
is. So
yeah,
you,
yeah, the good water.
No wonder why you're into holistic.
What do you think was your, for you, not for the fans, your biggest and greatest victory you think that you remember?
You know, there's a couple of things that would come to mind. I mean, going into the ultimate that Super Bowl tournament the first time. I mean, I had already prepared that that was the first time they ever put time limits on because of pay-per-view.
Right.
I was actually involved in a match previously that they only allotted two hours for pay-per-view. And the average match during the no-holds-barred era was 2 minutes, 22 seconds. A very violent 2 minutes, 22 seconds. But and they did not have the filler material of saying, "Oh, this is what John had to say previously about his opponent," or we could show Mike and some training clip stuff that the UFC it was so new they did not know to have all this filler material and interviews and things of that nature so they could feel if matches went short. It's like going boxing. If you're slated for 12 rounds and it goes 2, what are you going to do for another 10 rounds here right now? You got a lot of filler to
bring out
to
the
put
dances.
in there.
Bring the dancing.
Exactly. The ring girls can only walk around with the card so many times and so many smiles. And that's where it goes. So it was just a whole different format at the time. And again, what was your original question?
Your best victory, your greatest victory that you thought you had.
My greatest victory was at the ultimate because I prepared myself. I only ever did 2 training camps. Once for 32 days, once for 35 days. Now, when you think about that, all the matches I had, and only on 2 occasions did I actually train specifically for the event, where I left my family behind because I can't be a husband to. I can't be a father of. I have to be a no-holds-barred fighter, knowing that there's only 2 rules. No biting, no eye gouging. End of the rules.
Wow.
No weight classes, no time periods. And even then, biting and eye gouging was not grounds for disqualification. It'd be like going,
don't do that. Stop.
Mike, give him his eyeball back.
Start all
Don't
over.
do that again.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say that kind of facetiously like that because I
know.
did watch one of the guys get eye gouged and later in life did lose his eyesight in that eye. And there was no repercussions on that.
In history, right, and you know this, you're going to be known through history, through ever. You're legendary that you're going to be known as one of the greatest fighters out there.
I'll be known as one of the pioneers of this crazy cage fighting.
Yeah,
era.
But does your family look at you like that? Like you're very, very, for the people that don't know, you're one of the most humble guys in this industry. That people, you have a reputation. I think you know as such a gentleman. People know you around. When you talk about you mention your name. Anybody that's in this genre or any fan really talks about you. You're very humble. Does your family laugh and look at you like, geez?
Ironically, when I was about to do my very first cage fighting event, I told not a single family member, nobody, not even the missus. Okay, I just simply said, I simply said, I'm going to go off and I'm going to do a little wrestling this weekend. That's it. Okay.
If I don't come back
the check will be in the mail. But 2 of my uncles happened to stumble on this Ultimate Fighting Championships, and so my uncles find out I'm on it. They make a phone call first to my parents' home. And my
Telling on you.
And
Telling on you.
And my father, who never answers the phone this night. My father's name is Marvin. So my uncle's like, Marv, do you know where your boy's at? First, my dad's got to say, well, which one? Because he's got 5 sons. And he's like, oh, well, Danny. And then my dad's like, well, is he down in the cold water? And my uncle's like, no,
water.
he's about to climb in this cage. And he's about to do this. And my dad's like, what the hell? You know, but after each match, they'd call back and go, oh, okay, he won. He's okay. Okay, no, he's lost, but he's still okay.
Okay.
Well, I get home.
That's funny.
And I have the message to call your father. That's usually not a
That's
good
never a good
no.
sign.
Okay, so I call my dad, and here I am. You gotta realize I'm 37 years of age,
Oh my God.
and my dad is bitching me out for making him nervous. So it goes to show you, it's like a term of endearment. It don't matter how big and bad you think you are, you're still daddy's little boy or mama's little boy. So it's like a term of endearment. He was worried about his little boy.
You got humbled real quick.
This is for all you jerk-offs, trolls, bullies, imbeciles that cause kids heartache, cause other kids to kill themselves and bully, which we had several this week we had to deal with.
Yep.
A true gentleman, a true tough guy is somebody like Dan. And when you people out there realize a gentleman and somebody who's very secure with himself is exactly this. And this goes out to all you bullies, every single one of you that see that when you want to be a man, this is how you act. When you're taking advantage of kids out there and you're hurting people, hurting their feelings, causing them heartache, causing them to suffer, and causing them to take their own lives. Remember that next time you troll on these internets, to learn something from a real man. And it's really important what you do.
No, again, what I like to add of what you just said.
He cuts me off. Did you notice this?
I call him Mikey Cuts.
Mikey Cuts is getting cut off. This is great.
No, just to play off of what you just said right there, I've always been a protector of the people that can't protect themselves.
Right. See, that's great.
Anyone
That's great.
that the people they start picking on, I'm like, why you do that? You don't need to do that. So I would intervene.
Right.
It never end up in any kind of fisticuffs and stuff like that. So it was good. But I saw that also in my son. One of my sons, I saw that really, really prevalently come out of him. And now I have grandchildren. And ironically, I've always seen this happen in one of my grandsons right there, where it literally someone else is picking on someone. He goes, no, and I go, oh my God, third generation protector right now.
That's
good.
It's great because they're learning from you, Evan, isn't it? It's the best thing around when you see. And I mean, it really is. It's a positive.
Oh.
You had a great career, but more so as a man, as a gentleman, somebody to look up to, follow. You're a great example for kids.
What I look is that I could, and I've actually done this before. I'm supposed to go in there and speak to troubled kids.
Right.
So I said, what I want you to do is, I told the person that was bringing me in, I go, show like 2 or 3 minutes of clips of some of the most ugliest things that I've done to other men in the name of competition.
Right.
Suplexes, hammer fists, shows all kind of crash, bang, boom.
Right.
And so then they announced me. I walk on in. I walk up back up by the speaker's podium. And I grab the podium, and then I lean out over it. And I stare. I'm eyeball them all down. I go, "Are there any questions?" And they don't even want to make eye contact. They're afraid I might jump over the podium.
Well, that's why I'm wearing my shades.
But then I say, not too shabby for a guy who's never been in a fight before. And they're like, what did we just watch these clips already? I go, that's called competition.
That's competition.
I go, that was inside of an arena. It was competition. There's doctors. There's there's rules, maybe
there's
not
rules,
many,
some,
but
Dan, I try to say this, and people don't know this about John. Now, John was an enforcer, and we all know that, right? But a lot of the things that John has been attributed to him has to do with protecting people. A lot of the vicious things that he has done that we've talked about, it was people who were taken advantage of, and you exacted retribution against certain people. I mean, look, he's got a reputation for batting people and stay. But one was raping that you avenged. You avenged that. I mean, and I talk about that openly because the reputation that we all carry, I'm rogue, I'm dirty, I'm no good, but I'm still out there trying to expose the things that we both have done in some way or another, and turning into a positive thing. We were with the college kids. In fact, that was what we brought up the attempted suicide by someone that was close to us.
We're at Georgian court. It's a college out in Toms River that we just did a talk at. We do a lot of talks there for Chief Mitch Little, one of the nicest gentlemen, really does a lot for his community. And he asks me to come out, and I brought Mike out, and we do talks for Ocean County College, Keene College, Rowan College, some of the colleges. And we try to talk to the kids about some of the positive things about guys like you, that have done things the right way, and hopefully these kids that are doing the wrong things, they change their attitude, and they look at somebody like you and say, hey, I need to do the right thing with my life. I need to be a gentleman.
But what you guys understand, though, I've been around all bad things there too, and I've actually helped to circumvent certain aspects because there is a point where you see the old cartoon character where you got the devil on one shoulder. It's like, oh, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
The angel on this
It's
said,
59-41.
no,
59-41.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. So again, it's like I mean, everybody's
51-49.
got a conscience to a certain extent, right
Well,
there.
it's insecurity. A lot of insecurity on people have them that ability. They got to prove they're tough, and that doesn't make a man to be
Exactly.
to be-
Well, a lot of it is peer pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're around, like, for example, I'll be around, like, a lot of guys early on, and they're, like, going, oh, let's go drink shots, stuff like that. And because even, like, right now, like, they think, Dan, you're a tough guy. Let's go do shots. I go,
Yeah.
well, it'll be a shot, a Diet Coke or something like that. And I go, well, what do you mean, dude? I don't do that.
Yeah,
That's not my cup of
Johnny,
tea.
that's true
You know,
about
yeah.
us. We don't really behave that way either.
Yeah,
people,
no. But people
expect
think
that.
that.
They
Yeah,
expect that. Yeah. It's
And
just-
they want you to drink that bottle of tequila. And
Yeah.
and
Eat that
chew
worm.
on the worm.
Eat
at
the
that
worm.
thing.
Yeah.
Shoot a glass
Yeah.
afterwards.
Let's go to a nice buffet and I'll terrorize that. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a story I got to ask you because I had involvement with the Mafia. There's a Sammy Gravano story that I'm dying to hear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how good it's going to be, but
Just say it.
I basically I wanted to start a fight company because the company I was working for at the time, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, has changed hands several times.
Right.
So, and to me, it was corrupt. And I kept thinking, you guys can do your company and you can go under the table. I'm going to come up over top of the table and I'm going to hit you right between the eyes. And I'm going to do it the right way and I'm going to treat the athletes the right way on top of this. So, but I needed a backer. Right. So a couple of my friends I let know. I get a phone call from one of my buddies who's back in Arizona. I'm back in Michigan at the time. He's in Arizona. He goes, Dan, I can't talk about anything over the phone. He goes, how soon can you make it out to Arizona? And I look at my schedule. So it's all set. I fly in. He picks me up. He takes me to this restaurant that this gentleman owns.
Right.
And we get in there. And I don't remember what his name was that he gave me at the time. But it's kind of funny because I walk in. The restaurant's not open except for, he's the owner. It's like, okay, maybe just open it before hours. Okay, but we're there, and my buddy, again, the gentleman, I don't know who his name is, and two other of his contractors. Now, and again, I shake everybody's hand.
Yeah.
I know what a contractor's hand feels
Right,
like.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy,
Smooth.
fingernails are all manicured. There's not a callus on this hand right there. They're gonna say if these are contractors, these guys don't know what a shovel is. They don't lift hammers.
They didn't work on the farm that I contracted.
No, exactly. So again, that's just some red flags. And again, as the conversation is kind of going on right now, I end up over a course of. I met with him over a course of 3 days for like an hour each time. Right. And the first time, he's like, we can do this right here, no problem. We can do this right in the state of Arizona. And I'm like, well, no, you got John McCain. I said, and he said, we just dropped some money in John McCain's campaign fund. John turned a blind eye. And I'm thinking, all I know is day one, all I left there with nothing but question mark after question mark after question mark. Day two comes, I come in there. Now I'm putting him on the spot.
Right.
It's kind of like this guy going, how? Why is this guy going to turn his eye? Why is this that? And he starts laughing. He goes, you don't know who I am, do you? I go, well, you told me you are, so. Right. He's like, no, I'm Sammy the Bull Guevara. And so the couple of guys starts laughing and stuff like that. And even my buddy even knows all this is true.
Yeah. Right.
And he's part of a witness protection program because he's going to be turning over some things on John County and things of nature. So that's how day 2 ends, with a lot more question marks on my mind right now.
Right.
Wait, hold on. What year is this?
Would be 95, 6, somewhere in that aspect right there.
So
Now-
he was already out?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, he's out.
He got out right away?
Right away. He only did 4 years or something.
Yeah, and again, I could be off by.
Yeah,
I could be off by
You're right.
That's
It's
right, I
around.
have a
It's,
clue.
it's in that area.
But so
So who's backing him?
so day 3's coming up. Well, I happen to have a few friends back on the East Coast.
Right.
A couple friends and stuff like that I know that they're affiliated with certain families.
Right.
So I make a couple phone calls and I let them know that the conversation I'm having right now, and they're like, well, basically the gist was just thank Sammy for his time and walk away.
Right.
You don't want to have any affiliation. He goes, John Gotti can reach out at any point in time he wants,
Right.
and take Sammy's life if he
Right,
wants.
right,
He goes, you
right.
want to be at that affiliation.
Right.
He goes, what? He goes, if you want to make a quick $100,000. He goes, give me an address.
You got
And
the
then-
wrong guy, though. Damn it.
Yeah. So like, $100,000 goes a long way. Taking care of the mortgage and the whole nine
Tell
college
him, just give
schools.
me 200. I'll snap his neck for you real quick.
I could just say it was a slip and fall. Because the ironic part was,
And we're at the Berman Law Firm. And they'll handle that.
because I was actually taken to his home and stuff like that. By the third day, I'm taken to his home.
Right.
Where it's being all remodeled. And again, I couldn't believe all the security cameras and stuff like that were in there. But again, I did after the fact that now knowing who he is. He had security system that was way more advanced than anything else I'd ever seen at that point in time. And I'll just say that I simply just thanked him for his time and walked away just like I was advised.
Right.
But then it was like less than a month or two later, as I walked through the next airport to get on a plane to travel to wherever, I see on the front page of, again, whatever, New York Times, something like this, Sammy the Dope busted for a ecstasy ring out in Arizona.
Right.
Not too bright.
So again, it was, yeah. So
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's
so
an
again, that was
interesting-
my only really,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that in my on my grandparents on both sides, I think they both ran stills and things of that nature during the depressions because you got to somehow make ends
Gotta
meet.
make
and the
ends
whole
meet.
night.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
they
good-
had a little still thing going on.
and it's good medicine there for
There
you
you
too.
go.
There's-
Well, someone had to make it for those
that-
long, harsh Michigan winters.
So again, that's my only Sam the Bull Rivera story right there. But even then, I know I haven't written down as to what his real name was because I have a couple more books I hope to write one day, and I have meticulous notes that I kept.
You're a note taker. I love that.
Right, right.
Take notes.
Since-
I'm so stupid with that
Since
stuff.
junior high, I have had, and then a lot of times if I'm sitting on an airplane traveling to somewhere, I pull out a piece of paper just to make a few notes. As long as you scribble down just half
Did
a
you
dozen
write
notes.
down? Did you write down the name of the guy that made you the alternate for the '84 Olympics?
What's that? Say it again.
The alternate for the '84 Olympics.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. No, okay, the funny thing, get back to like, I always tell people that when it comes to Mafia or, what am I trying to,
Organized crime, whatever.
well, no, the Yakuza, okay. I always tell people that I've dined with the Mexican Mafia, I've dined with the Japanese Mafia, I've dined with the Mafia before. I'm just glad they all like me. We said, well, we have a good meal. I tell a few stories, and I go back to my hotel thinking, I'm just glad everybody likes me. I don't want to be on the short list, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as your career went on, and you're coming towards the end of your career.
Yeah. Well, again, I can say that in the twilight here right now, I am no longer a cage fighter. It almost sort of pains me to say that because I know that I'm into a different era here now. I did go for a long time. When you look at, I started my career back in 1969, 7th grade, and then you start looking at competing in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. 2020, people think, "Oh, you don't know." I still do professional wrestling matches. I still teach mixed martial arts seminars. I still teach amateur wrestling this, Greco-Roman wrestling that, freestyle wrestling this. I work with law enforcement. I'm a specialist when it comes to mechanics.
Technique.
Yeah, I won't get his technique, but then I see, like when I do stuff with military, they're trying to work on a ground combatives program for military.
Right.
I go, what you need to do first is put me in the same gear that a typical soldier is going to have on. Because if I'm out in a cage, all I have is just a pair of trunks on.
You
It's easy to
can't
move
relate.
around your
You can't
trunks.
relate. Yes.
But when you put on all the gear,
that's
and
right.
a backpack, and you got the
Now
weapon
try
strap on the
this.
shoulder.
Yeah, now
but
try
even,
it.
But even with law enforcement, you got
I
the
know.
duty belt on.
Yeah.
You got the taser. You got the knife.
Guns,
You
you
got all this equipment. You try to turn
flak
left, to turn right.
jackets, whatever they're wearing today.
So you stand on the ideology of what I stand on: pro-police, pro-America, pro-veterans.
Yes. Oh no. I'm
First responders, the whole thing.
First responders are big time, especially when you look at military. Because when you look at military, the greatest commercial I ever saw was it shows this big dust storm coming across. It shows all the civilians, everybody's running away. And it shows the military running straight into it.
Yeah.
And the whole caption just says this, which way would you be running?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, like those guys on 9/11.
My love always to my friend Brian Basho, JD. I talked to you guys yesterday. Uncle Steve, all you guys, heroes. You know that, brothers. And a special hello to all you guys and everybody else in the military that risked their lives for this country.
Yeah. But they look at another episode like 9/11.
Yeah, the guys ran into a building.
Run up into a tower.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is people, the problem is in society, people forget fast. When people risk their lives.
In American society, they forget fast.
Yeah.
I can go to other countries. They know our history better than what we teach. Yeah. There's a lot to be desired about United States educational systems and when stuff that they're teaching that.
Oh, here we go. Don't get us off into that.
What time did you ever use algebra or geometry in your career? I mean, it's like going, why don't you just use practical math? Like know that. Okay, Mike, one day you might want to buy a car.
Yes, you're going to need how to.
And again, your down payment is this. Your interest rate is going to be that. If you do practical math like this,
right,
or the fact that
something that applies.
Yes, John, you might want to buy a house one day. I mean, again, buying a house. I mean, if you start doing math where it actually you can relate to.
Yeah, something you can relate to. Like if I'm going to rob that bank and it has $280 million there. I got to think about how much. Exactly. How many houses can I buy with that?
It's not going to go very far. In Florida today, it's not going to go very far. Just so
you got to be practical.
The real estate value is really jumping.
All joking aside, and I think people are losing the ability to think with
common sense. I'll say common sense is not very common anymore.
No, it's not common anymore.
It has left the room, and stupidity has
taken over.
I've made a few comments. Again, one comment I made once that.
Do you want to make it here? Because
no. It's perfect here right now. My comment was simply that I went to the gym today and I had one of the greatest workouts of my life, and I have President Obama to thank for it. Here I am on that elliptical machine, and I'm listening to him speak. The more he spoke, the madder I got. That elliptical machine will never be the same, much like our country.
Well, he's one of the, and I don't want to get, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
He's one of the presidents that divided this country more than any president in the history
and he was
of this
supposed
country.
to do just the opposite.
And he was supposed to do the opposite.
Yeah,
he did nothing for the south side of Chicago. He did nothing for the black community college, for colleges and universities. He did nothing for anybody with unemployment. And he did do one thing very well. He got himself rich. Became a billionaire, came into office broke. Well, he's a divider. And when someone comes in dividing, causing racial tensions and not causing unity, I don't have anything good to say about him.
Well, let me finish the last part of the story that I think you gentlemen will find interesting. Anyone that knew me, they were like, kudos, way to go there, Dan. I had one guy hits me with the race card. So basically, I Facebook smashed him. I ripped him up one side and down the other side. And I go, and in conclusion, you might want to ask some of my black brothers. That's right. I'm the first white guy to be inducted into an all-black fraternity, and this is truthful.
Right.
And I go
Yeah,
because I
people
go,
don't know
Dan Severn doesn't hate based on race, religion, or nature. Dan Severn does hate stupidity, and you, my friend,
Ignorance.
are stupid.
Yeah.
I go, I hope you are sterilized because I want to stop this evil, stupid seed that you have in you.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
Well, anybody that talks is that talks anything about a color of a man's skin and judges him by that, regardless, or his
They're
religion,
racist. They're racist.
They're racist
They're racist.
themselves, and they don't know what it is to stick your hand out and just be a gentleman.
Yep.
And don't judge him by the kindness at heart and that character, just like Martin Luther King Jr. said.
Yep.
It's the character of that person. So
Totally agree. Totally agree.
I still didn't get the answer that I was looking for. You want me to just leave the room?
What answer were you looking for?
I want to know who.
What, you want to wrestle him?
No.
I want to watch that. I want to see if it takes him
I'm
one
gonna tell you
second of a quarter of a
I'm gonna tell you
second.
something. I know he will whip my ass, and I'm not a trained wrestler, but I'm a good wrestler. Okay,
Yeah,
I
all
know
right,
that.
I'll give you a
I
quarter of a
pinned the
second.
county champ. Okay, before
thought-
he became champ.
We were talking about your Jello wrestling career with all those ladies.
No. In prison, I let. In
That's
prison,
Joe Mud wrestling.
in prison, I intentionally lost a lot of wrestling.
Whoa.
I'm only kidding. No, but who was the guy that beat you for the '84 Olympics? Because that's one of the things I found very interesting. Because a guy like you're a championship level on everything.
Well,
so who's the guy? We must know him.
No, okay, this name is Lou Bannock, but again, it was like
Benning?
Lou Bannock.
Bannock. Okay.
But okay,
What college
But
was he
you're
from?
saying he
What
was from
college?
Iowa University.
Okay.
It was where he's at, but he was out of college at that time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Again, it's just like I was out of college
Okay,
at that time.
okay, I didn't know.
But he was again. This was for the Olympic team.
Yeah, right.
But it was a controversial match. So
Oh,
again,
here we
as
go.
I tell people that, did he win or did not? We had to do the best 2 out of 3.
Okay.
So he wins the first match. I win the second match.
Right.
But in the third match, through this controversial, we went through kind of a real volley of moves right there.
Right, okay, I can imagine.
Where the referees
He gave points?
scored the wrong points. So when you think about this, in a match, if you think you're losing,
Yeah.
do you have to be the aggressor and go after the other guy?
Right.
Or can you play conservative?
No, you got to be
Exactly.
If it was
Well,
me,
let
I'd
me
be
ask
going
you-
after
they-
you. If
they
it was me, I'm going after
They
you.
scored the points wrong, and I had to be the
Well,
aggressor.
here's the more. So what happened to his career after that?
Well, again,
Did he go anywhere with his
So
career?
he ended up winning the gold medal.
Oh, did he? How about that? That's
No, I
pretty
mean
good. That's
professionally.
pretty
Did he
good.
go anywhere
So the
professionally?
guy that beat you in a controversial decision won the gold
Oh
medal.
no, Mike, I sat up in the stands watching it all.
Did you?
Everybody that he wrestled, I had pinned in under 1 minute. I would have won that gold medal. So again, there's no doubt in my
See,
mind.
yeah, I
would've-
knew I
so
wanted
again,
to get to this. I knew-
But that's
because you're a competitor.
Well, again, but that just fires up the fire meter. I can actually relive that now as if it just happened yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
I knew
We
that-
figured, listen,
'cause that's a big
nothing's
moment.
ever cut
That's
and
a big
dry.
moment.
But those are things that continue to motivate me yet today.
See,
I don't
But
forget.
But after he won the gold medal, where did he go with his career after that?
Well, I think he just basically retired.
That's what I'm
and
asking.
working.
Because
doing what-
you went ahead and became a legend.
I
I mean, there's
yes.
no other word, but you became a legend.
I wouldn't be here talking to you gentlemen here today.
But maybe I'm going to tell you something else. And I know you don't look at it this way. Maybe you do. You just said it motivated you. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what took you
Yeah.
to drive you even to be even better and better and get to the level that you got to because of what happened.
Did you
to
ever
Because
wrestle him again?
No.
Wow.
No.
We got to get him on the show and tell him.
That would have been something, right?
But it's a good motivator.
But again,
That would've been
but
great.
off that motivation, here I'll share this one of those stories to kind of show you like the boathead competitor that I am. Even in my junior year in high school, I basically I beat everybody. And I
Were you a heavyweight? Were you the heavyweight division?
No, 185 pounds.
185.
Was your dad a wrestler?
No, but they didn't have wrestling in the school.
I know back
He
in
was a
those days.
basketball
Did
player.
you train
football
in
player.
wrestling? Did you have a good coach? Or did you just learn how to wrestle?
I had a great motivational coach.
Okay.
But where did it come from, your initial to start to even get into wrestling? Somebody, because that's why you asked me.
You know what?
Dad
No,
was.
let me just back up. Here's why. Because John and I talk about this often.
Okay.
because he always says to me, the wrestlers always do really well in the MMA.
They do. Well, first off, they're used to multiple matches. But then when you look at a lot of the really great football coaches, they like to recruit
Wrestlers?
They like to recruit wrestlers.
Wrestlers are strong. They drive.
Football, I should say, football players that
core.
also wrestle as well, because a wrestler knows that I may not go upstairs with you, but I'll take your legs out,
Right.
and I'm gonna block that hole to where no running backs will come through
You
that.
kind
hole.
of drives them.
Yeah.
You
Right.
drives them, right? A wrestler, you drive them
Yeah.
to the ground. You know,
Yeah, like
you
one of the movies that I was able to be in, we talked about earlier, was just being involved in that movie, Rudy. It was so
Right,
great
yeah.
to be there with Jim Brown. But then there was a lot of
Jim
other.
Brown named you, didn't he?
Yeah, well, Jim Brown gave me the ring name, the piece. But it was great to be there around all these football players. But then they run out there and
Jim
during
Brown's a
halftime.
legend. He was with Walter Beach III. I do talks with a guy, Walter Beach III. He played for Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
And he did a talk with me in Brownsville, and I always give him a shout out because he's such a positive gentleman. He's got a book out there. People that want to look at it, check it out. But he was friends with Jim Brown. So Jim Brown had a legendary career outside of sports himself. He was a good, positive guy himself.
Is there anything else you're proud of outside of sports?
Well, no.
Besides, you got kids? Do you have family and kids?
Sure, I've got 5 children.
Right.
I call them children, but the youngest one.
Do you have
now,
a doctorate?
What's that?
Do you have a doctorate or anything? Do you write books?
Well, no. I've got book. I've got a book out. I've got.
You had a book out.
A number of things, and that I'm in the process. I'm actually working on book number 2 here right now, because the first one I'll say it was good. It was a good little read, but the second book I want to kind of grab you by the throat, choke slam you, and bounce your head out the table a few times.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's going to be that. It's really going to kind of grab you, because I want people to realize the mark I made. The opportunities that I opened up for other people. Because I always tell people, I did not realize the financial gains in what I did, but for what I did. When the UFC was in trouble, there was only one athlete that they pulled up there. It was me,
Yeah.
because they simply know that I can articulate a sentence.
Right.
I'm going to be wearing my sports jacket,
Yes.
my tie.
That's your
I'm not going to
interview.
be,
That's your interview.
I like to hit people. And not go to jail.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not going to be cutting that promo there for
Right,
them. No.
right.
So they just let me know that I talk about, no, this is not a fight. This is a competition.
Any of your kids wrestle?
Yes, I
And then any
had
grandkids?
two of my sons that actually wrestled for a little bit. All my kids were involved in sports. My girls played volleyball and basketball and things of that nature.
I figure
My
you have
sons,
a top
football.
athlete. Usually that's what happens.
Well,
Kids follow.
but it's kind of like going. I never really pushed them. I wanted them to be involved in athletics, but I did not want them to have to feel like they had to follow in my footsteps. Although, even though I'd say, I can't help you much in basketball because I'm no good at basketball.
Right.
I can't really, but if you do decide to. Yeah, if you really wanted to go into wrestling, I could probably help you a little bit. Yeah.
What about Joe Rogan? What about Joe Rogan?
I've talked to Joe
Yeah.
at different times at different events, and he wants me on their podcast. He wants to get me on their podcast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going, because I've had a very great storied career.
Right.
He only ever really got to know of me is through the Ultimate Fighting Championships.
Right. That's why I'm
Yeah.
curious about your relationship with them and
Well, strictly platonic, I want you to
no
know
other,
that.
nothing. But we heard something about something else. But we're not going to. So you had a three-page. You had a 3-page fold out.
Oh,
you had a 3-page fold out.
Yeah, well.
No, but you're a handsome guy. But what about? I'm surprised you're not an announcer in some of these fights. You're articulate. You're intelligent. You're still a nice-looking guy. I'm not looking to go. I'm not looking for.
Well, watch out when the show's over.
I do have my blue jacket on.
But no, I am exploring. Just in the last couple of years, I've tried to explore a little bit more going into the movie industry.
Oh, you
Because-
should go in the movie industry
what-
as a
what-
double
yeah.
for Paul Newman. You could do sport too.
But then I look at what is professional wrestling. When you look at professional
Show.
wrestling, you're taking on a character, whether it's a good guy, bad guy,
Right.
but then also knowing that most professional wrestlers they're being thrown around, so they're almost like a stuntman to go with it. So I looked at. I've got quite a few since I've been doing professional since 1992. I've got quite a few years. I know how to take on a role. So I've been very fortunate just the last couple of years. I have been getting some bit roles, so I'm still looking for.
Okay.
But I don't know how to really get in that industry. I don't have like an agent that's.
Well, you had a guy
hunting out
like
type of
John
thing.
Cena, right? I like John Cena at first, the
Yeah.
wrestler, but then I was disappointed in him because he bellied up to China, and when he did that, I lost all respect for
Yeah,
him.
you have people like The Rock, John Cena.
Yeah,
You've had The Undertaker,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. I mean, there's quite a few professional wrestlers that have been in movies.
Yeah.
And I think The Rock is probably the biggest premier one that
It's
that
most
continues.
successful now. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
He
But
did a
even
lot of
Dave
movies.
Bautista, he's another one that's
Yeah,
been in
yeah.
quite a few cool movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd
So
have to
again,
play
that-
FBI. You'd have to play the FBI agent or something like
Well,
that. Yeah.
I get a
You're
couple
all-
of
you're
couple
squared
of bit
away.
roles.
You're squared away.
Well, but that's what my profile. The few movies I've been in, I've been either military or I've been a cop.
Right,
They're
right.
like going, "You've got that." I go, "It's called the Dudley Do Right chin."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I got the mustache.
Yeah,
All I
yeah.
gotta do is simply darken it back.
Darken
in.
it up a little bit,
yeah,
Take 10 years
yeah,
off. Take 10
exactly.
years off. Hey,
Exactly.
he can play me, or the guy that locks me up.
So that's where you're going to go in the future. That's what your
Well,
future
I'm
plans
going to
are.
keep dabbling with that, but I'll continue doing the seminar things. 'Cause I enjoy the seminars because I make a difference. I always tell people that I like my career because I'm making a difference with my career. I'm trying to help people to stay safe. So whether I'm working with law enforcement, corrections, air marshal, border patrol, military, it's all about trying to keep them safe so that they get a chance. It's like, well, again, but military is a little bit different because I'm not looking to keep the enemy safe. So so it's like how to use your weaponry, how to use your gear to discombobulate as quickly as you possibly can. I go, all in theory, of course.
Yeah.
Theory, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's politically correct theory.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't want to kill them.
Yeah. Well, they
We're
actually-
protecting your
yeah,
country.
they like my creativity when it comes to
Yes,
things.
yes,
So
yeah.
I'm a very creative, very abstract thinker at times.
Yeah.
I used to always refer to people that I'm kind of like a modern day artiste in the fight world. More like a Picasso. I like to rearrange my opponent's
He's a
face.
Picasso. He's a painter. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
So where's your plans today? You guys are shooting out to an event.
I'll be teaching a seminar a little bit later this evening.
Oh.
Again, a little bit. It'll be a combination with some grappling, some submission holds, and just to show people how not to get hit.
Who's
how to
having you
control.
in? Who's having you?
Again, Matt Grant has us all set up.
Okay.
I should know that right off the top of my head, but
That's
I don't.
okay. No, that's okay. We don't often know what's going to
yeah.
happen when we show up somewhere either.
Yeah,
so.
no, this all got put together just a short notice, but by later on this evening, when Matt drops me off to my vehicle, I will be starting to make my way back up to the Great North. I'll be heading back up to Coldwater, Michigan first. That's where my training facility is located at. I'll be there just for a couple of days, and then just to unpack, repack, and I will be opening up a waterfront property. I purchased a couple of years ago, and this will be season number 3 of projects at doing things. And
You'll be tooling around a cabin by your lake. Is that what you're doing? Or?
unique thing is, it's an island.
Wow!
I own my own. Okay. It sounds okay, but it's less than 1 acre.
That's okay.
It's a little mini island.
That's all you need.
It's
your own
not.
island.
It's not down in the Bahamas. It's
it's
in
in the
Michigan.
Coldwater Lake.
It's in Michigan. But I was looking every time that I've gone swimming in the ocean. I'm always looking around because I hear this little tune. Yes.
You might see Kid Rock out there
Yeah.
singing and rolling.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I expect to hear this. That
Dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun,
And again, I'm a succulent morsel here right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
They're
They
going to
want you.
bypass all those little shrimpies and stuff like that. They want to go for the main
They
meal.
want some
Yeah.
meat. They want some meat.
Yeah. So again, I'm not afraid to go swimming and stuff like that where I'm at, and it's cool because I put in a hard day because it's a lot of manual labor because I'm doing digging, I'm planting all kinds of plants, I'm trimming things where just in the first year, how much nicer I made the place. Just slapping paint around and things of that nature, planting things. And this summer, I've got so many different things that's lined up right now that I've already had people drive by with their boats. I go, how beautiful the place is looking. is it up for sale?
Yeah.
Going,
Everything has a price.
And I learned in the professional wrestling the term never say never. Say how much. Because there is a price for everything.
There's a price.
Yes, there's a price.
Yeah.
So how do people get in hold of you if they want to get hold of you? You on Instagram, Facebook?
Just basically
social media?
just go to my website, just dansevern.com, DANSEVERN, dansevern.com. On my website page, it shows all the various social media things because it's just trying to make life as simple as possible. dansevern.com, all the social media outlet, and I always say that because people say that I had this asked before. When you go on, what do you want to be remembered for? I go, one thing, I made a difference, and that's what again I always tell people that I have people now because of social media, the Facebook things of nature. They reach out to me like going, you won't remember me, but I met you, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I go, but you made this positive impression upon me,
That's nice.
and I want to thank you for that. So I do like that, and it's kind of like,
Oh yeah, it's wonderful to hear those.
Well,
things.
anytime we mention your name or tell anybody we're going to be here interviewing with you and sitting down with you, there's not anybody says anything negative about you. So you made them
well,
all.
if they do, you let me know, okay? Okay.
Well, I can go back to my old life. And
Hey, listen, Dan the Beast, right?
Dan
Come
the
on, Dan the
Beast.
Beast. And
everybody
no.
hit the subscribe button if you like it. Send comments. If you have any comments for Dan.
we love it. What a nice guy.
Finish on the note there. The ring name, the Beast, was given to me.
Right.
And okay, the Beast has a lot of negative connotations.
No, not in this case.
Dan Severn is a very positive person.
Not in this case.
The word "the" stands for Dan Severn. I'm a
Right.
teacher, humanitarian educator. The and Beast is my message to young people. Beast means believe in yourself, educate yourself, adjust your attitude, and then to teach others because you can't take it with you. So the Beast, negative, but turned into positive.
No, it's all
that's
positive.
Dan Severn.
It's all positive from Dan Severn.
Well, we keep it in the ring as the Beast. You don't want to mess with
That's
him
right.
in
In
the
the
ring.
ring,
right.
he's
Or you're going
definitely
to put an L on the
he's
next,
the other beast,
your next
but-
show.
Can't have my father yell at me.
Hi, Dad. All right, everybody. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you being on the
Thank
show
you. It
with me.
was really
today.
great having
Dan,
you.
thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
Dan.
in. What a
Thank
great. I'm so happy. Yeah. Thanks.
Hit the comments. Subscribe. Thanks, everybody.
And did you?
Another week of the Elite Show, and yes, I did.